Oh,
I think it might be recording now, actually. I think I got it to work.
okay, awesome. All right, so let's move on ahead then. So one of the kind of important things about being a graduate student, and our undergrads who are coming in can talk about this. This is an incredible place, but what we want you to do is to engage. And sometimes it's really easy as an undergraduate to engage, but sometimes you have to be a lot more intentional. As a graduate student, it's really easy. Those of you, I know we've got a couple of folks who are in the athletic training. We've got a couple of you in social work. Those are pretty tight cohorts. It's a pretty full schedule. And so it can be easy to kind of allow yourself to get siloed into, all of the demands of that. But I want to encourage you to reach out, meet folks, in other cohorts that are here on the Cullowhee campus. We're kind of that Goldilocks perfect size. So, when you see professional development opportunities, try and make them work in your schedule, because that really is going to be fundamental to your time here in Cullowhee and really making you feel a sense of belonging. Your professors and everyone will do a lot, especially the social work program. It's really all about this community and engaging with Appalachia and the rural community. And so you'll feel that, but we do want you to also know that you are a valued part of our larger university community as well. So take the time to do that. Lena mentioned this, but we can really be kind of your first go-to if you have questions, certainly in the next couple of months while things are new. But then as fall gets going, you may, feel like, oh, I should know that already. Don't feel that way. Just reach out to us. Kind of our office hours are the normal 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. There's always someone here if you like to pick up the phone and call. If that's not convenient, you're one of those late night workers, just send us an email. But we're really excited to be launching our social media. So, like us on Facebook, on Instagram, LinkedIn. We're on all of those places, and we're just getting started with that. So we'd be just delighted if you would like us, and that's something that Lane is doing. But do understand that we're here for you. One of the nice things is that we can fill in the gaps. Your professors and your faculty are going to know a whole lot about how your particular program works, but they may not know as much about graduate school policy. How many courses can you take? How many credits can you get? What happens if you don't do as well as you wanted to? We can answer all of those questions. So definitely reach out beforehand. Or before could potentially be in dire straits. Again, some of you were undergrads here, but this is really a great campus. We have everything here. It's got these kind of like hokey cata thing names. So we've got a cata fount or catamounts, and you'll hear all of that. And it's kind of cute in an eye-rolling way. But most of our things are here in the center campus, except for our athletic training and our social work. Many of your classes and some of the clinic work is over in our health sciences building, which is state-of-the-art, beautiful building, great clinic spaces. And our CSD student, almost all of your work will be done in the human and health sciences building in the clinic that's downstairs. So that's our campus. Big thing, if you haven't already done so, everything works through your My WCU student portal. And that's everything. So it's really important that you go ahead and set it up if you have not already. Those of you who were undergrads here, it will be your same My WCU student portal. It'll be the same logins. Everything remains the same, but it'll kind of switch over to the graduate, your graduate courses and all of that. But do be sure that you've set that up. Your tuition will come in there. You'll be able to find your from the bookstore, Canvas, all of that launches from your My WCU portal. So if you have not had a chance to set that up, definitely go ahead and do so. Same with your email. We are already communicating to you. Your program directors are probably already communicating with you, and it's all going through your Catamount email. It's usually some version of your first and or last name and a number, and then it's at catamount.wcu.edu. You should be checking that very frequently. I like to say once a day minimum, but because that's where we send everything, but it's more than, you might get a heads up from a professor that something's coming, but you probably aren't getting a heads up from financial aid office. And if they're sending out scholarship opportunities or just FYIs, it's going to all go to your Catamount. So please go ahead and set up your email and check it frequently. Do be aware that it does not work well to try and forward it to a Gmail account and merge your accounts. As helpful as that would be in your life, that does not work. So be wary of trying to combine your email accounts. Parking, since all of you are WCU Cullowhee students, you do have to register with parking services. And the way parking works here, it's done by your license plate. So even though you might see some old school, like I still have my hang tag, you don't get hang tags. It's all done from your license plate. So you can't back into a parking place. You have to have it so that your license plate can be scanned when the parking people run through. But we have here for you, if you have not taken care of your parking yet, we have the telephone number. You can send them an email. Those of you who are undergrads, it ended with when you graduated, so you'll need to reach out and get that start that up for the summer so you don't get any tickets over the summer. The CAT Tran, this is actually really helpful because most of you, I think maybe even all of you, are going to be doing the majority of your work at the Health and Human Sciences building. And you may need to run over here to grab lunch. You may need to run over here to go to the library. There may be some reason to send you over here. And so take advantage of the CAT Tran, especially during the summer it runs. But it's also not nearly as crowded. I've actually never seen a CAT Tran stop like packed. So, I think you should be able to use it and get over here as you need it. But you can see also that it does go to Walmart and to Ingles weekly. And you'll see that we've got a link for you there for the route and the schedules. And they will certainly do a condensed summer one, but they still do run. So something to be aware of. This is really important, and this will be the one time when I would say, if you have your phone close by, that you may want to put this in your cell phone contacts, and it's here for you to go ahead and do that. And I'll pause a little bit to give you time to do that. This is just great to have in your contacts because you never know when something may happen and you may need some assistance. So we have a full police services on campus. We also have EMS on campus. And if there's anything you don't feel safe to, you have a blowout on campus, any of those things, university police are just so incredibly helpful on this campus. And if you will put that number in your cell phones, you will have it, because certainly we never know when an emergency might arise. And that will also, if you need or have a friend or someone who needs medical services, you can use this same number. So calling 911, and I know I had to do this last week. I witnessed a woman hit a deer. And sometimes it takes a lot longer for 911 because it covers the entire Jackson County than if you just use the campus police for anything that's campus. So keep that in mind. CAT cards. If you don't already have your CAT card, they've made it so much easier. You can do this almost entirely virtually. But you as an on-campus person do absolutely need a CAT card. You'll use it to check out books. You can you can pick up any of copies that you've made. You can pick them up, at several different copiers across campus and at HHS. But you'll need your card. You'll need to be able to scan your card in order to get your copies. So make sure that you have that. It's also for the Campus Rec Center or CRC. Any kind of athletic, cultural events, you'll need those. But they've made that really simple and to get. And so you'll just email your 920. You do a selfie photo that you might use like on a passport or a driver's license. It can't be like you're out and about having a good time. It needs to be one of those pretty austere selfie photos and your mailing address. And you send that to catcard@wcu.edu. It's pretty quick and they'll send you back your, or you can go pick it up at Student Services. So, but it is something that you'll absolutely need here on campus. Books. So you need to purchase your textbooks and any kind of the merchandise that you might want. If you want to get some of I told you everything's got CATA something on it. We've got tons of, swag and stuff that you can wear that's at the bookstore. And so there's the hyperlink there. But we found also that students, one of the most frequent questions you have early on, right before classes start, is, well, what are my textbooks? How do I know what to buy? And so you have this online here, and Lane has put that in you, and this again is from your WCU, my WCU portal. You can pick your course, you can pick your section, and you can find out what the required course materials are and where you can purchase them. So that's a really helpful piece of information to have. This is actually one of my favorite things. I've been at several different institutions, various sizes, and I would put the IT help desk we have here at Western up against any of them. They are really phenomenal. You can call them, you can email them, and they are going to get back with you really quickly. And so for me, a lot of times, for some reason, my logins get jammed and I reach out and they've got it fixed in like 3 seconds. So if you're having any kind of issues, like it doesn't seem like it's fast enough, it doesn't seem like it's working right, you can't access your Canvas course the way the professor said there are videos and they won't play for you. IT will help you solve all those kinds of issues. So don't hesitate to reach out to them for any kind of technical issue that you might be having. We want to be sure that you're getting the best possible experience. Wireless connectivity is available on this campus. It's over at HHS. And if you should have to travel, I don't know if the athletic training folks do any of your work over at our Biltmore Park campus in Asheville, but that's all wireless too. Do download and use the EduRoam as a student, because it's much better than trying to use cell phone, trying to use up your data. You won't be able to get a lot of stuff. So make sure that you select EduRoam on your phone, on your computers. That's our wireless. And it's really great. As soon as you get even close to the Biltmore Park, even if you have never been there, as soon as you get close, you'll notice it automatically puts you on it. So if you need to print, and you will all need to print, and you can see the view here, you need to have money on your CAT card, which we just talked about, in order to be able to print. You're able to do all of that, really seamlessly through that My WCU. You can make sure you have enough cash in there, and then you can print. And with your card, you can go to any of the printers and be able to print out what you need. So there's several of those kind of common printers in HHS on that main floor that you walk in. They're kind of tucked away in these little alcoves, and you'll see where they are. And when you hit print, it'll say mobility print, and you'll be able to pick the one and where you want it to go. So don't wait until the very first time you've got to turn something in hard copy printed. Maybe do a test print so you know, okay, this is where that prints. Because it seems to me like things always mess up if you wait till the very last second and then you're under stress trying to get something printed out. Hunter Library, you know what a library is. It's under a bit of construction right now from this picture here, but there's a little coffee store in it. There's lots of printing opportunities there. That's also where the technology commons is. If you ask for a help desk and you're like, oh, you've got some kind of weird firewall, take it to the technology commons. That's located in Hunter Library. And it's kind of on the back side of campus. But again, make yourself aware of where it is and all the different resources that are available for you. One of the things you may not know about, and again, you're going to all probably be needing this, is the writing and learning commons. It may be that the type of writing that athletic training requires for after you've done your first patient assessment, it could be that kind of report is completely different than any kind of reporting or writing you've done. The walk can really help you with those technicals. If you are making the transition, I know we have a CSD person, working with families. And so you've really got to make it so that a family could understand your writing, and you want to be sure there are no editing issues in there at all. That's really a great service that we offer. And they do in-person and virtual appointments to help you with that. So, I would just really encourage you, if you don't get discouraged by the rigor or the difficulty of writing or that transition between undergraduate, something that was just fine for the undergraduate world and maybe isn't quite just fine in the technical world. Reach out, don't suffer in silence. And you can see how you make an appointment there, but they're fantastic. And they've got just the tutors that they have really can, even if they aren't in, CSD, they really can help you with those technical type writing. So definitely reach out before it becomes a problem. The CDC, the Center for Career and Professional Development Center, you might not be thinking of this just yet because you've got a lot of coursework ahead of you, but there will come a time when it's time to enter and get a job. They are phenomenal with your resumes, or if you need a CV. They are really great at that, which you might expect, but I find that the most helpful thing that they offer are helping with interviews. So the world now has gotten, and I know we're running some searches over here to where if you're invited for the first Zoom interview, that's a little bit different, and it's a different skill than maybe an in-person interview. And so they will walk you through like how to be prepared for a Zoom interview and how to come across as personable to try and make that next in-person interview. And they'll role play that with you and walk through you with that. So this is one of those kind of note for the future, but definitely keep it in the back of your mind that this is a great resource that we offer to both graduate and undergraduate students for that next adulting chapter that you'll be taking, and it will go quickly, I promise. We have a fantastic CAP Center. Again, it's virtual or in person. I would say don't let anything get too bad before you reach out. In summer is a good time to go ahead and start establishing kind of a relationship. And if that's something that you would like to take advantage of, it's a fantastic group of people who we have on this campus. We also have health services. And you can see, when they're open. They do have some kind of truncated hours in the summer, but they are here, they are available. There are COVID tests, I mean, everything that might be, you might be concerned about or worrying about, we do take care of on this campus, so. We have a phenomenal recreation and wellness center here in the middle of campus. I did see that we got an email yesterday, and you guys may have gotten this too, that they're having to do some major HVAC work through the summer, and so it's going to affect their hours. But they run lots of yoga at midday, weightlifting. They offer so many different classes, and I'm sure it will be affected by them having to shut down for the HVAC, but I would absolutely tell you, take advantage of this. There's a climbing wall. They have in the bottom like a whole, you can rent kayaks. So definitely go to reccenter.wcu.edu and see all the different things that they offer and take advantage of it. It's one of the most, I think, underrated things here on campus. So we do have a home-based food pantry and student support here. And food insecurity is real, and especially for graduate students who aren't often the ones who feel like that this is there for them, but it is. So if you should find yourself food insecure or supply insecure, please, again, reach out and get help. This is kind of a bummer one to have to talk about, but Lena and I are discovering that there's a lot of graduate students who didn't know this. And so we want to go ahead and talk to you about academic policies and about how they might differ from what you've come from in your undergraduate world, or even if you've been on another campus. But things change once you become a graduate student. There is no more grade forgiveness, and that's really important to know. If you do really poorly in a class, you can retake that course, but it does not replace that bad grade. That bad grade in graduate school stays with you forever. So some things to know: if you get an F in graduate school, you're out. There are no D's. I know that whole things of D's get degrees that you might have had in your undergraduate life. That life is gone. So it's A, B, C, F. One F, and you are dismissed from graduate school. 3 C's or your third C will also get you dismissed from graduate school. 3 of you are in programs with a clinical component. In those courses, you can't get a C. So look at your program handbooks. Some courses, counseling, social work. If you get 2 C's, you could be dismissed from the program. So again, it's really important that you not let your grades fall too far down. It's very difficult. If you're having a difficult time, please avail yourself of resources before it gets here. If you're wondering about options and you are maybe embarrassed to speak to your professor or your program director, reach out to Lena and me. We'll get you connected with, with someone who can try and help. But we really want to make sure that you don't, do so much damage to yourself early on that it makes it very difficult to come back and survive. We have learned over the last few years that not a lot of graduate students understand that from the outset. So we want to make sure that you do. We do have a transfer policy or a transfer credit policy. So if some of you have taken some graduate work, that will go through your program director. They have to accept it, and it depends on how many hours your program has for how many you're allowed to transfer in, but that is an option. There is a step out policy, so you can take a semester off if you need to without really anything happening. You may get out of sequence for a tight cohort like CSD, but you can come right back in. If you are out for 3 consecutive semesters, so if you were to be out a fall, spring, and summer, and you were just going to start that next fall, you'll have to reapply, and that's a university policy. So, you want to make sure you're not out. If you need to take a little bit of time, that you don't step out for 3 consecutive semesters. Again, if you find yourself in a bad spot and you need to make some changes, there definitely are withdrawing. There are lots of different withdrawal policies. So there's some medical, there's some military, there's some extenuating circumstances. And we want you to know what those are. We want you to make sure you look at them in the catalog that Lena has provided. I can promise you it's not a fascinating read, but it is one that you need to know about in case something should happen, because we really want to make sure, like this slide says, that you hit the help button. You don't just kind of try and do it and get by, because that will not end well for you, and we hate to see that. The only other thing, and my folks who are coming here from undergrad, I'm hopeful that you're not going to have to repeat these. And you can let me know, if you do, but there are some student conduct modules that are required. Everybody gets the sexual assault and the diversity and inclusion educational module. It'll come from a system called Everfi. It'll come to your Catamount. You have, if you don't do this, you will get blocked from being able to register for spring. So please make sure that you take care of these. It's like any other compliance training. There are videos and you'll go through a set of questions. If you are younger than 24, you're going to also get the alcohol education modules to complete. Again, I'm hopeful for those of you who are coming from as being undergraduates, you won't have to repeat because they're the same modules. And you shouldn't. So if you do, reach out to Lena and me, let us know. I took this as an undergrad, and we should be able to, we'll send it to Student Affairs to see if they can go ahead and check you off. I'm not going to talk much about this one because if we get snow this summer, this would be, I don't know what we would do if we were to get snow this summer, but we do, we could, I guess, get some severe weather and we would announce anything on weather.wcu.edu. But they are so good about blasting emails. You'll also get, I get text. I've signed up to be alerted via text. So if there's anything weird going on weather-wise, I get them that way. So just pay attention when the weather turns. And, this is kind of really the big take home, is just that we want you to have a fantastic semester. We want everything to go well for you. But should you find yourself with any questions, we really are hopeful that you will reach out to us and let us help you. Even if you're, if you know it's not us, but you don't know who it is, just start with us and we will track down, where to go, and we'll try to help prevent that frustration of the runaround. We can't always, because sometimes we're not quite sure either. It's one of those odd questions, but we will do everything we can to help you. And Elizabeth, you're fine. Where are you? Tell us where you're calling in from, Elizabeth, and what program you're here for.
Calling in from Arden, North Carolina, my kitchen table. And I am here for the MSW program.
Awesome. Well, you've got some colleagues here who have are here from the MSW program as well. So welcome. And we started off, we did record this, so we'll put it up for you and you can go back and kind of review the parts that you missed. But you're fine. Okay. Do I have any? I saw that Lena was really in that chat, just dropping lots and lots of links for you guys. But as you kind of take this all in, do you have any questions for us that we might be able to help you with?
I was just wondering, where do we send our immunization record? Do we send those to y'all?
No, you don't send those to us. That's a great question. Those are going to go to health services. And I think Lena put that in the chat a little bit earlier, up in the chat, but those will go to health services. Those do not come to us. And you can see Lena's just dropped a link in about immunizations.
And I'll add, on the link that I just put in the chat, you're actually going to log into the patient portal. That's how you upload all of your documentation for your immunization. So there's like a little button on the side of the web page that says patient portal, and it walks you through what you need to upload and everything. So it's pretty good about what you need to upload.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? That was a good one, Jessica. That gets people stopped from doing what they want to get done a lot of times. We've seen that.
Other than uploading immunization records and also the different courses that we'll have to do that will be emailed to us, is there anything else that I missed as far as to do things?
The big thing to do, Elizabeth, is to be sure you've got your My WCU portal running, working, you've logged into it, because it's going to have kind of all the action items on there for you, like in a task, might have some tasks, and checking your Catamount. If you haven't set up your Catamount email and make sure you're checking it, because it's definitely being inundated. I can promise you. Other questions? The only other thing, little seed I want to plant before we go, and this may not pertain to any of you, I have no idea, because I haven't looked at your records, but one of the frustrations that sometimes happens for folks when they try and register for their next session of classes is that you have a registration hold, and some people get really concerned. Why do I have a registration hold? And it's because we don't have your official transcripts. And so you'll want to be sure that if we don't have official, and the only way that a transcript is official is if it comes from your prior institution or wherever you got your bachelor's. If you got it from Western, you're good. We've got an official transcript. But if you're coming from any other university, if you uploaded to your applications, that's not, even if it was stamped official, if you uploaded it, it's unofficial. And so we do have holds on your registrations to account for that. So if that pertains to you, and you know that you came from Chapel Hill and you uploaded your final transcript, you're going to have that hold. So you want to go ahead and order a transcript to come directly from wherever that undergraduate institution is, directly to grad admissions. And I'll let Lena drop that in there. She's dropped it in there for you. So that's where to have when you go to Clearinghouse, which is where all of those come from. It needs to come directly to us that way. That's the only kind of heads up that I would give you that can sometimes frustrate people, and that you've got a quick turnaround starting in the summer. So any other questions? Well, I very much appreciate your spending your almost lunch hour with us here. Again, we are delighted to welcome you to Western Carolina. I hope you have an amazing experience, and please reach out with any questions and we'll certainly get them answered.